So, hey guys, I've come back to look at this ban list and there was something off about this one, honestly. So, we're looking at this again, right? So, Agito, the Ancient Sentinel, is being banned. Alright, that makes sense. Taylorman's Merle, that kind of makes sense as well. Rungo Miniad, okay. That makes sense as well, right? So, Bishbalkin is actually a bit weird now that you think about it, right? Just a little bit, okay? But not like overwhelmingly weird. Block Dragon makes sense. Block Dragon has overstayed its welcome. Block Dragon is annoying as hell. Feels pretty damn unfair how much advantage you can generate with it in Adamant Spare. So let's just say we have Block Dragon on field. So first off, it can be special summoned from hand or graveyard, and it has no limit to how many times it can be special summoned. All right, and then there is the fact that you can add, well, 3 Adamancipator cards technically off of this, can't you? Like, levels 2, 2, 4. That is the level, well, those are the levels of the Adamancipator tuners, I guess, right? And then each of those actually gives you a monster, and those monsters can actually net you advantage as well. So, essentially that was off of, like, one card giving you, like, full combo, which is kind of dumb, and it can happen from graveyard as well. And it's also like bodies and stuff. Not very fun if you ask me. But there's also, of course, add Catarine, Fossil Dyna, and like Researcher. So then that grass looks greener. That hit is also kind of weird. It was semi before, but like, all right, I guess. Kelbeck the Ancient Vanguard being limited. Alright. That was like kind of deserved. It shouldn't have been semied anyways, but alright. Sprite Jet is going to be limited as well. Swap Frog is now also limited. So, okay. They're hitting Sprite preemptively to make sure like Sprite isn't too strong, I guess. Like, alright, I guess. But the one hit that's the weirdest one here is going to be Branded Fusion. Why did they hit Branded Fusion? That's very strange. So cards to be semi-limited, we'll just continue on. So Blaster, Dragon Ruler of Infernos, that this card isn't too strong. I don't think I've even seen this like played while it was at 1. So Pot of Extravagance. This card has been too strong for too long, and I'm just glad they're finally hitting like control decks in some way, shape, or form. I guess again, been a while since they've done that. So Luster Pendulum, the Draco Slayer. This card here, it like should have been at 2 anyways, because at 1 it's kind of like pointless to run this. It kind of feels like sometimes. It's just really weird. As a one of. So, whatever, I guess. Nadir Servant, Ancient Fairy Dragon, Girsu, the Orcus Knight. So all of these are going to 3. So Ancient Fairy Dragon has hard once per turn, so it doesn't matter. Like, what's the difference if we have, like, 1 of Chaos Ruler or 3 of Chaos Ruler, right? Like, who's going to play 3 realistically? Same with, like, for example, a Curious. Like, you know. Even with Baron, no one's playing, like, 3 Baron, right? Nadir Servant, yeah, I don't really care about Nadir Servant. Girsu, the Orcus Knight, is just nice to have at 3. And this ban list is currently active, right? So, yeah. But the card that's kind of like the weirdest, aside from like maybe Fishbalkin is a little weird, but I think it's because the punk, there's like a punk FTK that can go into Bishbalkin really easily, where you just, you know, you have Diablantis, the Menacing Mantis, and then Foxy Toon, so that's like 2 8s, and that's super easy to do to make Bishbalkin, right? And then you can do whatever you want with Bishbalkin, I guess. But, does this mean, like, let me think. Actually, Galaxy Tomahawk is not as bad because it doesn't give your opponent tokens, and I think that does matter. I think that's more so why they haven't banned like Galaxy Tomahawk, I guess. So I mean, like for the past like few months, the only thing like people have been using Fish Balkan for is just FTKs now. I don't think Konami likes that honestly. That I think that makes sense why Fish Balkan was banned, I guess. I mean, a little weird. There's some other cards they could have hit as well, potentially, but I guess Fish Balkan's fair. Like, is there anything non-degenerate you do with Fish Balkan? Probably not, right? Yeah. Branded Fusion. So, Branded Fusion being limited is super weird, though. Because Branded Fusion can be searched with, like, any card, right? Like, a billion different cards. So, what does this hit actually do to Branded, though? If we go ahead and, for example, normal summon Aluber, add Branded Fusion, right? What are we supposed to do with Aluber on future turns, now that we no longer have Branded Fusion to search? You'd have to maybe try to recycle your Branded Fusion. If it's banished from the graveyard, then you can no longer activate Branded Fusion, I guess. So was Branded that strong? Honestly, since they haven't hit it for like all this time. Did Bestial Branded change something? I honestly don't think it changed that much. So, this is kind of a strange hit to just go from like semi to straight up limiting Branded Fusion. So Branded Opening is at 2, Aluber is also at 2. Why is Branded Fusion at 1? Well, I think it's honestly probably because of tier limit. Because Konami probably, I think, at least this is my guess here, is they're guessing that the next, like, tier limit, I guess, deck that would, well, the second best tier limit deck after, like, murdering Merly here in Cold Blood would be, like, Branded tier limit. And they also, of course, murdered, like, Ishizu tier as well. So I think the reason being, like, if we branded Fusion, you can branded Fusion send like Happiness or whatever, right? And of course you can, what was it called? Like Fusion Conscription. Just special summon like Rhino and you'll be like Fusion locked. And if you're Fusion locked already, you might as well be playing like branded, right? So that might be why they're hitting branded Fusion, potentially. So all of like these hits here are probably somewhat because of tier. And I don't know why, but they didn't care about like that grass that looks greener before, and they hit all of the like Ishizu cards, and they murdered Merly, and then they hit grass. They didn't even give grass a little bit of a chance here, like even though they did all these hits already, which is kind of weird, honestly. I don't know why that is that they actually limited grass. Grass is like fairly strong, but if you hit all the Shizu cards and grass at the same time, that's a little weird to me. Like, are players that done with like decks that have like just in general good graveyard effects that you hit like the grass looks greener till just one? Because it does it really give you that much advantage? Had to? I guess you have to play left arm offering now, or that grass looks greener and you have no other choice. So that makes grass like a little bit fairer if you consider like just like in terms of resources how much you have to work with, like by sending 20 cards to the graveyard, I guess. But I mean, I don't find grass like that bad personally, but maybe some people find it more worse, like more sacky or something. I don't know. But I mean, I also don't really care enough to play 40 cards, and that is partially because of grass, because less mills on grass means less I have to deal with, potentially, right? But yeah, branded fusion is pretty weird here. Let me think for a second. If we think about the chains. No, that doesn't really make like sense to me either. No. Yeah. I guess you would probably do like branded fusion sending, I don't know, let's say Havness, and then you would likely already have like a tier name somewhere else. But yeah, if you think about it, then it doesn't matter which tier name you have. You can have actually uh technically Kaleido, right? If Kaleido is in hand or you normal summon Kaleido, either one's fine. And then you can use Merly, or not, no, not Merly. Use Havness and Kaleido to make uh, Kick Kelos. And then you have Branded Fusion, which would resolve like normal, uh, putting back Lubellion and Fallen of Elbaz to make Mirror Jade. And just think about that, that's just a 2-card combo that ends on like Mirror Jade. Potentially like a Branded Fusion and stuff. Is this that good? Or not Branded Fusion, Branded in red. Kinda depends exactly how it goes, but is this that strong? Let me think about it. No, you can't end. I don't think you wanna end on Branded in red unless it's already in hand. Because you'll probably have to banish your tier cards, and also you don't have Ad Libitum Surged. So I might be missing something, but yeah, I don't think like actual branded is like so bad that you actually need to hit branded fusion, because branded fusion doesn't like do a whole lot. It's kind of weird for branded fusion to be limited, since branded fusion actually has such a strong like restriction on it being able to only fusion summon. Just in general, that's pretty brutal. Like that would be like saying Red Eyes Fusion is the problem card and then limiting that. Like not exactly the same, but like Red Eyes Fusion has a pretty brutal condition where you can't normal or special summon like monsters aside from the one you summon off of Red Eyes Fusion. Branded Fusion, of course, like can be recycled and searched like a billion times. So it has like relatively strong grind game. So it could be just because of that, but I don't know. Could be a combination of both. Maybe they don't like the representation that like Branded is giving off here. By the way, Branded Fusion is like a really, really weird hit, and I can't exactly like understand it. It doesn't completely make sense to me, but like it's not something I'm like upset about, but it is a bit like weird, I guess. But like, okay, I guess. So that's all I've got for you guys here. So I guess I'll see you guys in the next video as I ponder why Branded Fusion could be limited to one still. Well, bye.